Yeah. Wasn't
Like,
so nice for me.
was it
Hello
awful
everyone
though?
and welcome to round number 4 of our 8th Newcomers tournament. I'm still here, Blues, joined again by DT, hopefully with a fixed mic.
I hope so.
And this time we have Dryad, Shell Cheesy, Radar Contact, and Peasant. And a Power Colony.
Always the power. This map looks awful except if you want to found scavenger.
No, I think this map looks awful even if you want to found Scavenger. There are nukes on the market. And all the prices are low. There's no good place to be making money this game, besides power.
Power. You just drop like scavenger northwest and go power HQ level 2. And then you win the game.
I guess that works. But, yeah.
You go where radar found it because there's an high.
I think you found up one spot so you can actually connect to the high. But this is fine too.
Actually going for my spot, that's good. Peasant going for expensive.
I'm okay with expansives with a plan on getting into Geos on HQ2, but neither of them have picked up iron.
But they bought up iron, so
Yeah,
it should
Peasant bought up iron, that's good. Dryad did not, though. He should still be able to get to HQ2 and put down the iron, but it's definitely going to slow him down. Shell going for an HQ2 Geo as a scavenger.
That's what he should do.
Oh,
I'd rather see wind turbines, of course, but at least he's...
Yeah, I guess it makes sense, especially with his choice of aluminum in particular. Those can become wind later. For now, it does fine work. Alright. I've convinced... I don't know if I've convinced myself or you convinced me, but either way. Radar contact. Picking up a medium water with no possible adjacency.
Peasant going into free steel. He doesn't have iron yet. The guy is going for it now, but yeah, it's steel mills are now off.
Right. I definitely would not be going for the third steel without being able to support it with iron, and especially not with a power colony. I don't think you can afford to be doing that. It's gonna be too slow to ramp up.
I will be fine with it if he already had iron. And then he could go into 2 geos, but he didn't do that.
Right. I mean, the reason I wouldn't even be fine with it then is that it means that he's already shipping into iron tiles from very early HQ1 or earlier. It would make things a mess.
There's going to be a steel surplus, so that's just going to be awful for him.
Yep. Radar Contact also choosing to go into geotherms for power.
2 of them. Already has one up, but it's got stolen.
Yep.
That's nice by Dryad.
No big surprise there. Always a popular target. Not sure if these players know, but you can tell that there are no Goon Squads bought because the price is still at the starting 2k. Radar Contact does manage to get a Goon Squad for a second geotherm though.
He's probably hoping that someone else is going to pop that Goon with the mutiny and just steal it back.
It's very possible. Interesting that Shell claimed that geotherm on HQ2, did not end up building it until HQ3. Maybe a bit of a mistake there, probably could have gotten up to HQ3 sooner, but not a big deal.
I would say yes, but that's the last geo left on the map, so...
there are like 3 geos to his northwest.
Oh, I'm blind. Okay, that's a mistake then.
Yeah. Peasant
I would also go for an early Fleshy Dome. If you can do that, everyone should go for that. It's really cheap to build. Yeah.
Yeah, with the group of factions we have this game, 2 expansives, 2 scavengers, there's going to be a lot of entertainment demand. That's going to make for a very nice market. And even though it's a power colony, everyone has invested into a fair amount of power already, so supplying the pressure dome's not going to be that hard.
No one's really going to make power money off this.
Yeah. think Peasant in particular put himself in a very awkward situation going for the second Iron Claim remote. And
Ooh.
the solar panels, just everything's gonna make this fairly difficult for him.
I must say he got really unlucky with that steel surplus, because otherwise steel would be now at 70.
Yeah, definitely. It would be making some of these decisions look a lot less bad if steel didn't surplus.
Shell upgrade to HQ level 4. I hope he's going to plant that Fleshy-Dome down anytime soon, as geothermal plants get stolen. Which is not nice, but power is like, this is around this level, the price of power, you don't really want to steal it anymore.
Yeah, there's no strong reason to. Like maybe if that person is making power money, either the person stealing it or the person you're stealing it from, but that's really the only case. Shell going into a bunch of reactors is going to do quite nicely for him. Very strong market.
Triangle now, he will lack the water, so I want to see him buy a little bit water and then hope that someone sells that so he can buy even more after that.
What I would really like is for him to goon his medium water, because if that gets nuked, he is kind of screwed.
Ooh, yeah. No core samples, there's not a lot of water around the map.
Yeah, buying into some chems now if you have the money to afford it, and planning to go into a patent lab for slant drilling should pay off quite nicely this game.
That's what you want to do. Radar contact is going into Impressionum that I talked about. That's really nice. That's going to help him a lot. He's also making power money. Oh. 200 per second.
It's, I guess, yeah, with the mutiny. Okay. Pretty nice set of claims all around. I'm mostly just worried about his water situation. He needs to do something to figure that out. Slant being the easiest solution. Although Slant
How much
is...
would you...
For the hacker array?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing.
So all the prices are dead almost, so I would go really hard for it.
That is true, but also no one really has great access to a market that they can hack consistently, and no one has enough money to really make this work either. I don't...
Just hack chemicals, and you should be fine.
I mean, you have to be able to buy into chemicals to make money on that. And no one's going to be able to buy all that.
I mean, the price is low enough for you to make a profit.
I guess you can buy like 200-300, and that's probably enough. Peasant started a power hack, cancelled it, thought better of it. Between the dust storm and all this other power on the board, probably for the best.
He probably wants to surplus glass if he's going to do anything like that.
Yeah, that seems like a decent choice. He is pretty stuck behind at this point.
Triad, what is Triad doing? Like a rare reactors, he can upgrade now, he's probably want to do that, yeah, doing that. He needs more power because he has 1 geo, his water situation is also like, can be really easily nuked, so he also needs slant drilling.
Yeah, everyone needs slant drilling this game.
But he's choosing to go for 2 more water. As an expensive file like this,
alright.
really, you have to do this.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that choice. I think you can expect some of your water to get nuked at some point, and this will just help deal with that. And even if your water doesn't get nuked, someone else's will get nuked, and water will become a problem. Shell's water actually already got nuked.
Radar contact is banging into Peasant, already has 3 stocks, he has another nice Fleshy Dome, making lots of money. I already told everyone, go into a Fleshy Dome because there's almost no market that is making money except food.
Looks like Dryad is also moving into a Pleasure Dome. That will be very nice for him. I am still worried about Radar Contact buying so much into Peasant. Peasant is stuck so far behind for a reason. He's having issues. And it's not going to pay off for quite a while.
Yeah, I would rather see him going into Pen Lab, go for virtual reality, and then keep destroying Fleshy Domes of your opponents.
Destroying or mutinying? either way.
Well, do something about it. Nanotech on auction. I don't really. No one really wants this because all the prices are dead. Steel and carbon are really cheap. This is not. This is not the game to get this.
Right, it's not going to be tremendously impactful this game, but it's nice to have still. 20k is, I think, perfectly fine to pay for it.
And Dryad is going into 6 farms, so it's going to be useful for him.
Yep. Definitely good for him to cash in on this market while it's still there. Then he can just nanotech out of it, move into, I don't know, nothing, because nothing's making money. Steel, probably.
Rada has 4 claims, and he's buying into peasant. I would rather see him just go into more farms, maybe a little bit more water if there's still water around. I don't think there is, yeah, only in Top East. Maybe glass and 1 silicon. I mean, there's high silicon on the left, yeah. You should take that one. Silicon
Yep. Definitely,
high.
definitely lots of options for radar. You need to be using your claims as you get them. They are just important to use. This is how else you're going to make money. Shell is going to be the one to secure slant drilling. Already claimed these 2 water tiles next to radars. Medium water, which is troubling. He could have easily claimed next to peasants high water, and that would be better in just every way. Slightly more nuke resistant, just better water. I don't know.
Dryad bought into the last stack of peasants, the 6 stock, and I like that because he's going for virtuality. His plushy dome is going to be stronger than
I think
creative contact.
I don't know. I think I'm okay with the 6th stock. I am not okay with the 7th stock.
No, I'm not okay with the 7th stock either.
Okay. As long as we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Dryad really needs to rotate out of some of these farms now. Chems seem like a nice move.
Did you look at the offers already? It's really nice, 51k.
Those are pretty impressive prices.
I really disagree with Dryad is now doing. I would go A. It's only 47k for an offer, so get that thinking machine that he's getting and then just plant that.
Yeah, buying into peasant definitely the wrong move, but the other things he's been doing this game have been very good. Thinking machines, he probably wants to buy his own stock instead of peasants. Then he can get a nice HQ4 all filled up. It's all great.
Shell is the only one on HQ level 5 and doesn't have any stock in peasant, so I'm not sure what his game plan is. He probably wants to buy into carbon because it's $1 in aluminum.
He just sold down everything.
Oh, yeah, that's not what he wants to do.
Yeah, don't do that.
Only when you want to complete a buy.
Right, I think he's just trying to get his
offers.
Right, his glass and electronics money, but
yeah, but someone can just buy into that, and then your offers is like 2 times more.
You cannot sell all that carbon. He was able to afford the off-world for a bit. I guess he started teleportation, that's part of the problem. The other problem was the shortage.
Does he need teleportation?
It will help with his water.
Yeah, it does.
It would help more with his water if he went to do Peasant's water, but I guess Peasant's water is also low now, so maybe this is some next level anticipation. Anyway, Dryad, going into chems. Which is good, but he probably also wants reactors to go with them. His fuel is rising pretty steadily since everyone has moved into chems.
No one is in reactors, I think. Only Shell is
in Shell.
Reactors. Okay. And even radar contact is in chemical, so what Shell needs to do is just buy in some fuel and then finish everyone.
Yeah.
Because of that play.
Definitely something to look into when you do have the monopoly on something and the price is rising. You can just buy a whole lot and make a lot of money.
That price, when I started talking about it, the price already went up to 40. With 40, now it's like 1 per second, so yeah, even 2. Well. Shell is building an off-road, that's why the carbon price spikes. That's why you never want to sell all your carbon.
And he also has slant. He didn't need to go into these glass cones. He could have just gone into a lot of carbon. Instead, probably radar contact got a lot of money out of that. Which just didn't really need to happen. Dryad ended up upgrading to HQ 5 instead of putting down an off-world. He's building 2 optimization centers now even. Anything that's not an off-world is kind of just a mistake.
I mean, you need the optimization centers, at
Right.
least one of them, but you also really need to go into
Just get the off-world up first. You can get the optimization a little after.
You have way too much food. 2 farms is like, with this kind of price, just drop like an off-world.
Right. The farms, the chems. You need steel down.
Iron is way too.
Oh, radar contact also getting an off-world down now. Pretty much off the back of that carbon spike from Shell. A colony off-world even.
Wow.
Yeah. With 3k dynamite, that seems a little aggressive, but there are no goon poppers, so just the dynamite. We'll see how that works out.
Looking at the sub money, buying into peasant really wasn't worth it. You can really tell by like 20.
Yeah.
You're getting $20 is like nothing.
No big surprise there, unfortunately. What might be nice for Dryad to do is pick up Geothermal Borehole. He has spent all his claims, so he doesn't have an easy way into more power. Geo Borehole will give him that plus 0.2 on his Geotherm, and also save him, get him an extra 1.2 from the Pleasure Dome.
I don't agree with the solar panels. I mean, I agree that power is high, but look at the silicon price.
Right, that costs a fortune. He does have nanotech, and no one has strong silicon, so it could work out for him, but it's not ideal. You could probably have gone like superconductor and 2 panels if you really wanted to do that.
Yeah. Going into a rectum. I thought there was going to be an off-world, but it doesn't have.
I just really want him to get out of these chems and get into steel.
Shell is going into the second off-world, so yeah, no one's punishing him for that. Like, Milton is 14k, Dynamite is 3k, like, people should start attacking everyone now.
Yeah, there's no real excuse for the relatively low amount of black market recently. EMPs will just be so much less effective than Dynamites and Mutinies, and I'm not sure why people are attacking power instead of off-worlds. Power is high, so there is that, but still.
No.
One tile makes 320, one tile makes 720.
Yeah.
Also, Radar Contact never started repairing his Pleasure Dome, and that's been helping Dryad a bunch.
Dryad needs to help his steps. So
Dryad needed to pick up Superconductor. Or Geo Borehole. I don't know.
Get his cookbooks going. He needs to
yep.
These ones.
Cost 2k, that's basically nothing. You can't do anything else with the black market anyway. It'll be helpful.
This 14k for coin is a little bit cheap. I mean, Dryad cannot really go for it, but even then.
Yeah, it should have been bid up a bit more by Radar Contact.
And Shell's using that claim for an extra Geo. That's good.
Yeah, that's perfectly reasonable.
The only thing I don't like about Shell's space is there's no optimization center.
Right. I think actually instead of the second Geo, what I would have liked to see is replacing the aluminum mines with the double wind. And then you can pick up an extra carbon or something that you transition into an optimization center later.
That should have happened a long time ago.
Something we brought up very early in the game.
But still, Shell is looking really great. 300k in the bank and he has 2 off-worlds. No one's attacking his off-worlds, so...
Yep. If Dryad had bought some Cook the Books a bit sooner, managed to deal with his debt a bit more effectively, got his second off-world up, he could be a pretty solid threat to Shell, especially since Radar Contact decided he wanted to fight Shell, but doesn't seem to be happening so far. And Dryad's gonna eat a nice D-debt tick. Oh, we paid it off just in time. Yep.
Shell got 3 offworlds now because he stole the colony offworld, so he's going to... He should start buying into himself, because I don't like this situation that
Yeah.
you just buy one person and hope that he buys into you.
I do think that's his best chance to seal the game, buying into himself.
And he
'Cause
needs to buy
otherwise
into Triad, because he's cheap and he has 2 offworlds up.
Well, no, Dryad is one offworld,
Oh, okay.
but he stole one from
one
Shell.
yeah.
I don't think I like Dryad dropping the dynamite onto the colony offworld instead of one of Shell's other offworlds, just because it's only
Mostly,
one
yeah.
warehouse, and
you're not repairing it.
yeah. Okay, if Shell's not going to buy into himself, buying into Dryad is probably the next best choice, and this should work out quite nicely.
Should still be fine.
Yep, 70% of the way there already.
It's only fine because Radar doesn't have 2 offworlds up already. So then he should have defended himself.
Right. And he
Lab.
should have repaired this pleasure dome.
Why would that be in Pet Lab? Also, all the patents are taken.
There's still some pads, just not good ones.
Only super.
What would radar contact do with it? Superconductor wouldn't help him.
Ooh, wait a minute.
Financial instruments? Not even, because once Dryad gets bought out, then that's pointless.
If he gets bought out. Because I see 2 offworlds frozen or stolen from Shell.
That is fair. Dryad doing a good job of being aggressive on that. And radar, I think, helping. No, that's all Dryad, actually.
And he has a nice fleshy dome, so going for him. So, I'm going to say that Riot is going to win this one.
Maybe. Their targets should be around even. 493, 485, yeah. And Dryad's mostly caught up, so...
And plus he has nanotech.
And thinking machines.
Nanotech itself.
And you said nanotech wasn't gonna
Yeah, I know. I mean... It's only because Peasant is HQ level 3 and we couldn't like sell these high prices.
What I really want from Dryad though is to not hold on to 3.5k iron and make some steel at some point.
Yeah, so 90%.
Yeah, he should have this.
He's not using his optimization, so okay, he's doing it now. Just get rid of these 2 iron, please, and should be fine. Okay, he's doing it.
One thing to note is that Shell was the first into a patent lab. He could have had thinking machines for himself.
Yes, but he needed...
He did need slant, but even after slant, he had room for teleportation before the rest. I mean, he had thinking machines before teleportation. So maybe a bit of a misplay there.
Now Dryad doesn't have any offworlds.
The other thing...
I don't... That's not gonna matter.
Yeah. The other thing...
Oh, look at the water.
Yeah, trying to slant off this medium. Good chance that goes wrong. Now slanting off the trace. A lot of unfortunate things for Shell here.
I must say, Peasant is really helping with this water price. It's minus 6.4, so Dryad is getting all that water, so...
Yep, something you brought up earlier, going for the second pair of water claims. Definitely worked out very nicely for Dryad. Maybe would have liked to see a bit more water optimization, but his full optimizations in oxygen are great, with that being the off-world send. So, can't complain too much.
It's paying off his steps, it's like the safe way to win this game.
Yeah, he'll be perfectly fine.
So, yeah. I think radar contact really stalls its game.
Right.
Didn't really have any answers.
When he was at HQ4 with the 3 floating claims, when he stopped repairing, when he didn't repair his Pleasure Dome, Those sorts of things really added up to keep him away from really contending in this one. And it's a bit unfortunate.
He lost a lot of money because of that push it on. Not going into early. Like if you see the price is like 45k per launch, then you need to rush off world. Just have to.
Right. Other things, I think I mentioned on Found that he really could have moved his HQ up one tile, and he would have been connected to this carbon. That was a consistent issue all game. In part, his water issues were kind of unfortunate. Just Shell choosing to slant off his medium means that he was going to get nuked. He could have protected against that with a goon, but what are you going to do?
I also think he has too many geos.
I think everyone has too many geos. Everyone has 3, I think. Well, no, besides Dryad. Dryad only has the 1.
Dryad is spending.
Yeah, Dryad kind of was allowed to get away with his underproduction of power.
If someone just EMPs his solar panels, he would be dead now. That's like a small thing you can do. Change the outcome.
Oh. Dryad does have the money to finish this. Just needs to find it all. There we go. Well played by Dryad, making good use of the black market to come back into things, having a really nice pleasure dome. A few missteps between HQ 4 and 5 that put him a bit farther behind than he needed to be, but he made it work.
I'd say that Peasant got really unlucky by that steel surplus again.
Yeah.
His double iron was not something I would do.
I think it's very, very rare that you can afford to have 2 remote iron claims as a not scientist. And then taking the hacker array auction for 24k I think was also a bit problematic, just because there wasn't going to be anything he could use it for.
It could if he was making a little bit more money and then just short it.
But he wasn't.
I know, but that was because of his buildings. And it's like commenting into Iron too. I really wanted to see him going into the fleshy dome, maybe next to his base even. But yeah.
Yeah, that could have worked. Well, actually, no. He didn't even reach HQ. Did he reach HQ3 before getting bought? I think just barely.
I think.
Okay, so there would have been an opportunity, but it would have been difficult anyway.
And then he went into farms, but then... What was it that bought into him? Radar? Yeah, Radar. Radar had like 4 or 5 stocks into him when he was making money.
Okay, so it seems like Peasant's plan from the start of the game was to rush Offworld, which was a good plan. Offworld started very strong, and they got stronger. But, yeah, it was just too difficult to get to that point. All the steel wasn't really sustainable, just largely because of the steel surplus. But also there wasn't enough money to be made on anything besides power early, that it was always going to be a bit difficult. Pleasure dome. I don't know. Definitely also hurt that Dryad stole his water early.
I must say this map was the worst map I saw so far.
Oh yeah, this map was definitely horrible.
This is not the map I want to see in ranks.
Between the nukes, the weakish resources, and the low starting prices across the board, it would not be surprising if players have trouble with this map. Anyway, a lot of attacks on radar contact, which is interesting. Like, he was ahead early, but I think... maybe some of those were Pleasure Dome, some of those were creating his off-world. Okay, I guess it's fine.
Looking at Threat's stream, I see no Scavenger. She's really